Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so first I want to thank Coach Wayne, Lance, Jeff, David, and Chet for putting this thing together. I know they kind of asked me to do this video up front here and to welcome you guys, so I really appreciate those guys for leading the way and helping, put this thing together. And specifically Lance, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this again next year, but after kind of hearing all the support, hearing all the motivation that I got while I was there in Vegas, and then hearing Lance, get fired up about it, that really drove me to want to do this again next year. So thank you guys and everyone here in this group for, committing to this and being here next year in July to do this show with the rest of Team Rip. So thank you, everybody. All right, so first thing I wanted to cover was, what am I doing differently this time? So previously when I went through this, I only had 12 weeks to get ready. And so this time around, I have a full year to really focus on this. And one of the things that I didn't really have a lot of time to do was build a lot of mass. And so this time around, that's kind of what I'm going to focus on. And what I'm looking to do is about 1 pound of lean muscle mass per month. Give or take. It might be more, it might be a little bit less, but that's the goal. So all of my workouts, all of my nutrition are going to be focused with that in mind. And that's one of the things that I'm going to suggest you guys do too, is come up with something you want to focus on, at least for the first 90 days. And whether that's drop body fat, add lean muscle mass, whatever it is, just focus on that. Don't try and do both or do more than one thing at a time, because you have a full year to prep for this. And so don't chase the shiny object. Focus on one thing that you need to work on. You know yourself best. You need to work on whatever it is that you're either weak in or you need to improve on. So for me, it's adding some more lean muscle mass, developing my chest a little bit more, developing my back a little bit more. And that was pretty much my focus for the first competition in Las Vegas in June. So I'm going to basically be doing the same thing for the first 90 days, except I don't need to cut that last 3 or 4 weeks like I was doing before. I'm going to just basically continue that process throughout the entire 12 weeks and see where that takes me. So I suggest you guys do the same thing too. Just focus on 1 or 2 areas of your body that you need to develop, whether that's, again, lean muscle mass, definition in a certain area. Focus on that for the entire 90 days. All right? Okay, my next point that I want to cover is, it kind of goes with the previous one in that you have a full year to prepare for this. So this is basically my day 2000, let's say. Your day 1 is not going to look like my day 2000. So get it out of your head that you got to look perfect at the end of the first 90 days or even the first 180 days. You've got a full year to prep for this. It's going to take time. You need to be patient. Trust the program. Trust the other guys that are going to be leading the way in this group. They're going to give you the advice that you're looking for, and take it. Don't ask for the advice and then write it off. These guys, Jeff, Wayne, Lance, David, Chet, and more than just those guys, have been through this process. They know the fundamentals. You have a full year. Again, take your time. You're going to have sucky workouts. I have them from time to time. Forget about it. Put it in the past, wake up the next day and crush it. You can't focus on how bad those workouts were. You just got to get over them. You got to get through them. It's going to happen. Again, you have 12 months basically to get ready for this. So break it down in the 90-day blocks like we're going to do, and focus, like I said, on one particular thing that you want to accomplish during that 90 days. And by the end, you know, if you've gotten those 4 or 5 goals met at the end, you're going to look great. You're going to walk up on stage and you're going to be so proud of yourself for accomplishing what you've done in only a year. I know it sounds like a long time. It may sound like a short time, but you have to be patient with the process. Okay, supplements. For the most part, I'm taking the same things that Wayne and Lance covered. Shakeology, whey protein, results in recovery, creatine, BCAAs, and I also take a CLA and a glutamine supplement. So try to keep it pretty simple in that regard, because I know everybody doesn't have the same budget, and so you know, if you stick with those first 3, whey protein, Shakeology, and results in recovery, and or creatine, you're going to be fine. So try not to get, you know, so involved or so wrapped up in all the supplements that you need to buy or you need to take, because really I keep it pretty simple. I don't, like Wayne mentioned, I for the most part take my supplements either pre-workout and post-workout, and then that's pretty much it for the day, unless I feel like a shake in the evening. Then I'll have a shake in the evening, but for the most part that's pretty much all I'm doing. And I can go into the details. I have a link that I can post below in terms of the schedule that I take all those, or the amounts that I take on all those. So you can look at the link below that has the details on that. But for the most part, I try to keep the supplements to a pretty simple schedule, so that, you know, I know what's working and I know what's not working. So, and those are the things that I've been using for the past 2 or so years, and you know, I haven't really added or subtracted anything from that, and it seems to be working pretty well for me. So I think if you stick to those simple basic things that you know, Lance and Wayne both mentioned, then I think you're going to be fine. Okay, last bit of advice here, guys. So this group is not going to be like some of the other ones that you may have been a part of in the past, and that's a good thing, because you know, we're all going to be doing the same workouts. We're all going to be doing, well, for the most part, the same workouts, unless you're on a different schedule. But for the most part, everyone's going to be doing the same workouts, and that's going to be huge, because you know, everyone's going to be going through the same struggles from day to day. You know, feeling the soreness, feeling, you know, the shaky legs the day after, the build legs, and that's going to be what's going to bring us all together and make this group awesome. The one thing I'm going to tell you though is, when someone posts something, you know, like, hey, I was cranking out 75 pounds on bench or whatever, and you're only doing 35 or whatever your number is, don't get caught up in the numbers, okay, guys? I want you to make sure that you're doing your own thing. You're pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can, and that's all that matters, because we're all at different levels of fitness here, and the only thing that matters is that you are doing whatever you need to do to make it work, to make it happen. So when someone posts something like that, you know, you can use that as a little bit of motivation, but don't get caught up on the fact that they're doing more weight than you are. They're doing, you know, more reps or whatever. It doesn't matter, guys. You need to focus on what you are doing from day to day, not what everybody else is doing, you know, not what Wayne's doing, not what Lance is doing, you. And that's the only thing that matters. The last thing, ask for help, okay? That's what this group is for. You guys have a ton of resources here with experiences that leverage that. Ask for help. You know, when I was going through my prep, I actually had a coach that was an NPC competitor, and so I leaned on him a lot during that 12-week prep for questions that I had on nutrition, and questions that I had about some of the workouts that I was doing, what I could do differently, the whole prep of, you know, posing and all that stuff. Ask for help. That's what this group is for. Someone is going to help you. And again, you have 1 year to do this. So be patient with the process, okay, guys? Plug in every day. Nail your nutrition. You should be tracking your nutrition because that's ultimately what's going to drive the results that you get. The workouts, I said this I don't know how many times. The workouts take care of themselves. You get in there, you do whatever it takes to get your workouts in. That's great. But if you don't nail the nutrition, if you don't focus on the nutrition, it's not going to matter, guys. You got to get in there and at least be 90% on point with your nutrition. And if you do that, I'm telling you, you're going to have the results you're looking for. It may not be the first 90 days, it may not be the first 180 days, but by the end of the year, if you are consistent 90% of the time, you're going to be up on stage right next to the rest of the team ripped, exactly where you want to be. And that's what this is all about. So let's crush this first 90 days, guys. We'll go from there, see what happens. Some of you are going to fall off. Don't let that be you. Stick with this every day. You may have bad days. Get up the next day. Get back into it. All right, guys, let's do this.